All right, today's video is going to be a fun one. Today we're going to talk about whether or not politicians should be involved in the hiring process of police officers. And we're also going to ask if test scores should be taken out of consideration when evaluating who is the first candidate to go through the process. Alrighty, so the reason that I'm making this video today, or what encouraged me to make this video today, I saw this article in my local newspaper, the Columbus Dispatch, and the title of it says, "Consultant, take all police hiring processes away from the mayor." When you get down into the body of the article, it says Columbus officials, and can you guys see that? Columbus officials are asking voters this November to approve a change to the century-old practice of using competitive civil service test scores to hire police officers and most other city employees, saying it would improve diversity. So what they're talking about right here is Columbus, Ohio Issue 20, the civil service measure. It's a very complicated measure to understand if you read the ballot language. The article that I found is much better. But basically it says that they're going to change the number of bands for competitive lists of applicants, this, that, and the other thing, and remove some language and probationary rules. If you agree to the change to the charter, that's what you're agreeing to. A no vote means no, you're going to keep things the way it is. So let's go back down to the article. It says, let's see, so it says that they want to do this to improve diversity amongst the police ranks. It says, but two recent studies, including one that cost the city $75,600, and it focused solely on the Columbus Division of Police, found that if minorities and women aren't getting the job, it's not because of their test scores. It says black police candidates performed as well or better on average on the oral board, the only remaining competitive part of the civil service test, while both studies found that women scored better on average. So what they're saying is that the only competitive part of the test shows that black police officers or black candidates are already performing as well or better than the average, and females are already scoring better than the average. So if your goal is to increase diversity, you don't need to change the testing process in order to do that. That's what these studies found that were paid for by the city. And it says, in fact, one of the studies didn't recommend doing away with competitive testing, but rather completely stripping the mayor or the mayor's administration of all officer hiring processes, placing them instead under the city's independent Civil Service Commission, which was found to have more objective methods. So what we are seeing is a push from politicians saying, look, we need to have more diversity or more female and black and brown officers. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to change the testing process, or at least the way the tests are not necessarily graded, but ranked. And that's what I have here. I'll go ahead and just explain it to you because it's a little bit easier. But traditionally speaking, when you're in the hiring process to become a police officer or firefighter, these are only two testing processes that I understand. There's only two ones that I've been through, but that's what this is about. So you study for the test, you go take the test. And when I took the test to become a police officer, I ended up scoring in the 90 band. So it means that I was in the 90th percentile, which means I did it really well on it. So like right here, we have 90 to 100, and then you have 80 to 90, and then 70 to 80. So this band right here, if you were in that 90 to 100% band, once everything was done, you're one of the first people that they called. They might actually go ahead and send a letter to all of the people in the 90 band saying, hey, look, you guys all scored really well. We look forward to talking to you. We're going to be contacting you soon, beginning your background and hiring process. Once the people who scored in that top 10% have all been sifted through. Then they go to the people that were in the 80 percentile, that 80 to 90%. Those people then start getting letters, and they start going down that list. Historically, people who are in the 70 to 80% range, if you went and took a police or fire exam and you were in the 70 band, is what we called it, you might as well go ahead and get ready for the test again in 2 years, because you're not going to get hired. The fact of the matter is, usually, like historically speaking, the people that were in the 90 band and 80 band were enough to fill the recruit classes for the time that those tests were valid for. I don't remember if it's 1 year or 2 years, and I don't know if there's limits on how that goes, but these are all processes that were set up by the nonpartisan, non-political civil service section of the government to make sure that not only is the hiring process fair, but that we are hiring the best candidates, the people that are most qualified to do the job. The change that is being proposed is that you're going to take everybody from 70% to 100%, and you're going to lump them all together. So no longer does it matter if you're in that 90 band, 80 band, or 70 band. We're going to take that whole group of people, and we're going to start calling them all at the same time. What that opens you up for is people being picked for jobs based on things other than competency and their test scores. Right now, I believe the process is incredibly fair. And if you take the test and you do well, you're going to get hired before people that take the test and don't do well. The studies have already shown that black candidates perform just as well or better than the rest of the people. And it also found that women on average scored higher already. If the goal is to improve diversity, the change that they're making would not actually have anything to do with improving diversity on the department. So as the article says, take all Columbus police hiring processes away from the mayor. I think that is a good thing to do. I think that there should never be political influence on the hiring of political servants. I think that politics have corrupted so many parts of our society. It's really a shame. And the politicization of police departments across the country, and the manner of which that has happened over the last 2 years has had such a tragic result. It's yielded such a tragic result across the country that I think we need to protect these institutions from politicians that can possibly, bribe the community with policy in order to change who gets hired as a police officer. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Columbus issue 20, that would change the civil service process, my vote is going to be, I'm going to vote no on this, because I am on the side of these studies that say changing the process would not change the diversity of the division of police. Black candidates and female candidates are already doing just as well, if not better, than every other candidate. I do think that this has the opportunity, if it is passed, to politically corrupt the system. And I don't think that's a good thing. So those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.